So am I letting them explore enough? This morning I had a baby introductory music class with my daughter. We've been doing this for the better part of 8 weeks, and I've done this with all my kids. It's a class where gets them into the rhythm of music. We do a lot of singing, basic instrument playing, just to get their minds in the state of rhythm and music, right? And we usually end off the class with kind of a goodbye song. And today, my daughter didn't want to stay with me, right? Usually, we sit down together. She's in my lap, and we go around the room, and they send us a goodbye and on our way out. And she decided to hang out by the window and just look outside. Um, and I don't blame her. Today's a beautiful day. There's a heat wave. She just had no interest in what we were doing, and she wanted to explore. She wanted to look outside. I think she had enough of the indoors based on how beautiful it was outside, and I was at peace with it. I didn't go and my initial reaction always is to go and grab her and bring her back to me. I know when we used to do these classes with my son and my middle daughter, I try to keep them close. Anytime they veered off the mat or went in a different direction, I would instantly grab them and bring them back. I didn't want to be the parent that seemed like he didn't have control of his kids. And that was the wrong mindset to have, right? I mean, there's a time and a place to control your kids and rein them in. But as I've gotten older, I think I'm at peace with just letting my kids explore, right? Within a safe manner, of course. And um, yeah, I don't want to hold my babies back. Even yesterday, my son, we're at the park and he hopped on his bike and started riding his bike around the baseball diamond, the perimeter of the baseball diamond. There's a little path there, and for a moment there, I couldn't see him, so I didn't know where he was, but I trusted him. I wanted to let him explore and do things without his dad just being all over him, right? And then he proceeded to play basketball with his friend, and usually I would just stand inside the cage and watch him, but at this point, I wanted just for him to play, with no eyes on him, just unfiltered, right? Just letting him be him, right, without his dad close by. And it's been a gradual change in mindset for me, for sure. When I was a dad 5 years ago, you want to keep your kids safe, your baby safe, and if you're watching, that's the right mindset to have, right? Who doesn't want to keep their baby safe, their kids safe, especially right out of the hospital, right? But there comes a time where you got to accept that they're gonna want to explore this world, and sometimes it doesn't include you, right? You're not part of it, and I've accepted that. I've accepted that. They're my kids, but I don't own their life, right? Like they, I'm gonna give them every opportunity to go out there, make mistakes, bump their head a few times, get into, fall off their bike, fall off the monkey bars, scrape their knee. I'm gonna give them every chance to experience the good and the bad, right? To explore, the world out there without having to rein them in, right? And I've accepted that. I've accepted that. It's funny, yeah. When you get them from the hospital, they're with you, and they're within your grasp, and they're yours, right? And you keep them safe, and you hold them, and they go everywhere with you, and before you know it, you're in music class, and everybody's got their baby in front of them in their lap, and mine is off on the side, looking at the trees blowing in the wind. So, but I was at peace with that. I'm at a point now where that's the way I want to raise my kids, and yeah, that's because I think it's back to my life, and I wouldn't say I had perfect parents, but I had parents that loved me, and there were countless times where I remember I would just run off. She'd take me to the mall, my mom, and I'd veer off to the store or run off with my friends, and either she couldn't catch up with me, or she didn't care, or maybe things were a bit safer back then. But I was on my own many times, as a young kid, and she she never was one to just kind of keep me close to her, right? She allowed me to make mistakes and just run off, right? And I mean, there were times where I got lost and I was terrified, and and she was too. But I guess that's what turned me into the person I am today, right? I feel like I'm pretty independent. Yeah, I think I'm pretty independent, and I think I have her to thank for that, right? And yeah, that's something I want to pass on to my kids: a sense of independence and a sense of curiosity and just love for life, right? And yeah, I don't know if you're watching this. At some point, they're gonna crawl away from you, and as many times as you want to rein them in and grab them, eventually they're gonna start. Eventually, there's gonna come a point where you can't do that anymore, and you might as well accept that when they're young, right? That yeah. I hope this helped you. I hope if you're a new dad, I hope this helps you.